Good evening. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Tonight is the, I guess it's the Brian S. Red show tonight here on Disc Jockey News. Normally this Tuesday night music show, but as you know, Popeye, the engineer, is having problems. He's out of commission. So here I am with my friend Art Ibarra. He is my hermano, and he's also a fantastic local DJ for the Latino market.
Great. Thanks, Ryan. So yeah, we've had the opportunity of working a few times together. And,
yeah.
I hope, that, I'm glad you said that, because you've never told me that you're telling these guys, but you've never complimented me before. So
I'm sorry, dude.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Well, I probably will never do it again unless someone else is watching. But we thought we'd go ahead and bring a guest into the dungeon, so you weren't just looking at me all night talking to me. We're going to do some Q&A here in a little bit, but first we're going to talk to Art a little bit about what he does. If you have questions, throw them in the chat. I'll try to follow that. I'm not as good of an engineer as Popeye is, but I'll do my best. So you're primarily doing Latin events.
Latin events and a lot of interracial events.
And what I've noticed is the quinceañera market has changed over the last, I don't know, maybe 10 years.
Yeah, and all Latin events have changed. I mean, like anything else, 20 years ago, I would show up during dinner and set up during dinner.
Uh-huh.
Nowadays, the expectations have gone up. Everything has gone up. Things are more elaborate. They're spending, between 10 to 20 grand on these things now.
Or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know Juan spent more.
Okay, yes.
A mutual friend of ours had a quinceañera for his daughter, and it was crazy. I wasn't there, but Art was there. My daughter was there doing photo booth, and it was pulling out all the stops. It was the Harley Museum.
Yep.
What, 250 guests maybe?
More than that.
Oh, man. Yeah. So this is kind of like the bar mitzvah market on the East Coast, where they're just trying to show each other up almost.
Yeah. No, it's pretty elaborate nowadays. And that's part of the problem. People expect more from you. Right. At the same time, you're charging more and so on. So it's a fine tuning. You got to get that balance in there versus what they want and what you're going to give them.
Right. Now,
what are the expectations?
Do you feel like that you are the premium service in the area for this? Is there somebody who's doing Latino events that's...
Yeah, so as far as content, as far as musical content, I'm up there. As far as equipment, no, there's tons of guys that bring semi-loads.
Well, that's kind of a Latino DJ thing.
Yeah, it is. But so to answer your question, no, I'm not the premier guy with the with the top system in town. There's plenty of guys that can handle that. Right. As far as programming, yes. Anytime we play, we work together. This, but we're used to getting tips. I mean, I've had many people tell me, this is the best night of my life. How many times do you hear that? Right. That's our goal ultimately. But yeah. I'm not going to claim to be the best, Brian. You know that.
Well, I guess I didn't mean. I mean, because you're a modest guy. I know that about you. But I mean, you're really bringing it. You're bringing quality stuff to the event. You're a professional. Now, during the week as a day job, this guy's an engineer. So he's not just some dude who's just a DJ. This is a guy who.
So now, 2005, 2007, I actually did the DJ business for full time, for 2 years. Did that, was very successful, was busy on the weekends, but like people, on the chat room and they realize life happens. Had a few kids, a few, and things change, plans change. So the business really went back to a weekend warrior job, and I had to go back to the corporate world.
Right.
So for sure, but yeah, it's still something that I'm passionate about. I love doing it, and really that's the only reason why. If it wasn't for that, I don't know if I'd be doing it.
I guess what I'm saying is that I think you really bring a professional touch to an industry that may not always have it. Is what I was trying to, I guess, express.
You're right. I'm a professional, so I go in there with all my notes. I mean, people think you go to a wedding quinceañera and you're
In a basement.
You just wing it. No.
The church.
My wife can tell you, my family can tell you, kids, I spent 20 to 30 hours prepping for some of these things.
It's a wedding.
Right?
It's like a wedding.
Yeah.
But
sometimes they want pre-mixes now for these special dances.
Right.
I do that. I mean,
explain to, because not everybody here is doing the kiss. You had to explain some of the special dance stuff that happens, because this is neat. This is real cool.
Yeah. So for a quinceañera, there's special rituals. There's basic rituals that people have to do, and then nowadays they're mixing it up. But there's always a surprise dance element, and that sometimes includes a variety of genres. So I got to mix cumbia music with Tejano music, with bachata, with mambo, with merengue. So, it's not a, let's say it's not a beat matching kind of mix, but it really is one of those, little mini mega mixes.
It's like a cheerleader kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're bringing in choreographers for this. This isn't just something they work out on their own.
They practice for a good 2 to 4 months. I mean, it's choreographed.
And it's several couples.
Traditionally, it's 15 couples, including the quinceañera. Really? Nowadays, girls, like I say, they change it up. They have maybe 5 guys, 10 guys, 15 guys. But the traditional quinceañera is 15 couples.
Wow.
1 for each year.
Wow, I didn't know that. So we're all learning things.
It's basically the coming of age party. It's the same thing as similar to a Sweet 16.
Right.
But this dates back to the Aztec times. I mean, you're talking back.
Right.
This is, predates anything we know.
Sure. So, and this was kind of like a debutante ball initially, where it was introducing your daughter into the.
Correct. Yeah, they're coming of age.
Yeah, she's available. Marry her, kind of thing. Where now it's obviously that's not what's going on, but.
Yeah, no, it's really cool though to be at, and I can't tell you how many quinceañeras I've done, but they're a great time.
You're out there a lot. Now, when you're doing these, like you said, you're not just doing Latino music. You're doing a variety of things.
You don't know how hard it is to, but a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to do a Latino party, because you got every demographic you can think of. You got Hispanics or Latinos that are from the U.S. or American.
Right.
You got grandparents or parents who are from Mexico or other parts of Latin America.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have their Gringo friends.
Right. Of course.
And then they got their African-American friends, and everybody kind of.
And then somebody married somebody Puerto Rican, so there's that whole side. And Dominican, and Cuban.
Hardest thing is pleasing everybody
at
those parties. And I got to tell you, variety seems to be the trick.
Yeah.
So you just got to, try to get them all in. I take requests. I don't know about a lot of the DJs out there don't.
Most people, a lot of the guys here are doing mobiles. They do that.
Yeah. So I'm actually trying to figure out a better way of capturing requests. I know there's a lot of apps now that people are coming out with.
Mm-hmm.
I still do the old-fashioned notepad and
write it down.
Or you know what? Here's my iPad.
Sure.
Look it up on YouTube, whatever. But yeah, that's the hardest thing, is pleasing everybody in that party. And quinceañeras are typically 200 to 500 people.
Yeah. Big families, familias.
At least the ones I do.
Grande familia.
So, you're going to have people up there, and I can tell you, I mean, there's nothing more gratifying than getting 500 people on a dance floor.
Oh,
right?
Man. Absolutely.
It's the best. So anyway.
Here's my next question for you. How terrible is my Spanish?
Oh,
okay. We'll skip that question. We'll skip that one because it's pretty bad. I try. Between him and Blanca, I'll never even try again.
No, it's actually pretty good.
It's bad.
I hate the way you say hermano. It's hermano.
Hermano.
Yeah. There you go.
Hermano.
Yeah. But you understand it pretty well.
Well, I understand it, but I can't speak it for nothing.
Yep.
I understand some of it. When La Vida Loca up there starts going a million miles an hour, I don't know what's going on.
So just as long as I was talking about dialects, so I think I have a pretty good English, Wisconsin, or whatever you want to call it, Midwestern accent.
Yeah.
But I also speak perfectly good Spanish.
Right.
Very fluent.
Well, you were born in Mexico.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's part of my pitch is I can say, Tío Pablo and also Uncle John.
Right.
When I'm introducing guests. So
perfectly clear.
Perfectly clear.
Yeah.
And then that's just one of the benefits. The second one is knowing and understanding the both cultures, and I mean, I've done every wedding you can think of with a Latino. So Indian Latino, Arab Latino, Caucasian, of course, African American Latino, everything.
Wow. Now, when you're doing these events, the ones I've heard you playing at, one thing I hear that I really like, and I can't tell you how much I kind of get jealous, wish I could pull this off at many of my events. You're playing a lot of freestyle.
Oh yeah,
like 80s freestyle at these events.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I think freestyle is really a Latin genre.
It is. They used to call it Latin hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bring it all out. I mean, 1 minute I'm playing ranchera, which is country music.
Right.
The next minute I'm playing Cynthia, Change On Me, or Stevie B, whatever.
Right. That's so cool. All of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, that's Stevie B's playing.
And then I'll go into Planet Rock or Planet, Patrol.
The electro. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And then, you go into the 50s and 60s, you do Sugar Hill Gang. I mean, you do, Bill Haley, everything. That's the cool thing about the culture.
All over the place.
And I really try selling props a lot as well, because I haven't done it with you, but I do try to make that an upsell, because they just, bring out more out of the people. Whether it's glow sticks or the foam sticks or you name it. And what I try doing is putting my logo on these things with my number. So, these people are going to take these things home.
Right. They're all about that age anyway. If they're not there, they're going to be there soon.
Yep. So
that's a really good idea, especially at these events.
Yeah, quinceañeras, weddings, not so much.
Right. You don't know who's going to get married, but at the quinceañera, someone's going to have a quinceañera soon.
Correct.
Or they're going to know.
I'm throwing beach balls out there.
Right.
That's how crazy it gets.
What kind of profit are you making on your props?
When it comes down to it, I'm probably making about 25%. So
okay,
it's not the most, but
your marketing's in there.
Correct.
If you're putting your name on it, then that's worth something too. So that does add value from your point of view.
Yeah. So I mean, it covers an extra person being there, because it takes a lot for somebody to blow up all those balloons.
Right. And facilitate it.
I mean, it all comes in packaging. It takes a lot of work. So I got to hire somebody for that, and obviously have them there the night to hand these things out.
Right.
To the crowd.
Right.
But yeah, that's a big upsell that I like doing here, and that's what people remember. So
another question I had for you, and it's kind of for everybody out there in the chat room or anybody watching this syndicated once it goes up on YouTube. If I am a gringo, which I'm a gringo, and I needed to have a few like really solid tunes on hand, just in case, that across the board, for the most part, would work really well for me. What are some of the recommended tunes that you could say that these gringos should download from Amazon or something and have just in case?
Yeah, no, there's tons, but I have my favorites. There definitely are. So one thing that the Hispanic culture likes doing is line dancing or group dancing.
Sure.
Kind of like the cha-cha slide and things like that, which I always play as well.
Okay.
But if you guys haven't heard of Caballo Dorado, it's basically a band that mimics or covers the Achy Breaky Heart.
You told me about
in Spanish.
Yeah, right.
That's a party starter.
Really?
Huge.
They all know it.
Yeah, I mean, I bring props. I bring cowboy hats. I mean, people,
sure.
It's a great time. So that's a band that has two good songs. So it's Caballo Dorado,
which is Achy Breaky Heart. Okay, that's the name of the band.
And No Rompas Mi, is it Caballo? What's the name of the song? No Rompas Más. And also Payaso del Rodeo. And we can probably put these on. Yeah,
we'll put them in the comment section of the YouTube video once it's posted. We'll make sure that we have a list of these songs, because I couldn't write this down. I can't. No, forget it.
People that can relate to Selena. I mean, she's always a good artist to play. Whether it's Como la Flor or Bidi Bidi Bamba.
Yeah, those are,
I still play those. What I do is a live Selena mix for every gig, and it always packs the floor.
Selena for you gringos. Selena.
That's right. Cumbia is always a great genre. Some of the great cumbias that I play besides Selena are Cumbia Sobre el Rio. You have Los Angeles Azules, the Blue Angels. Any other stuff is going to be good. Liston de tu pelo, Amor Amor, which is love. But those are just a few. But what I can do, Brian, is we can put something in the comment section, like maybe a top 10 list or something.
That'd be great.
Is that cool?
That'd perfect. We'll do that after the show is all over. And
top 10 Latin party starters.
Top 10 Latin party starters. One thing, observation that I've made, because I've done Latin clubs, I've done salsa nights, and I obviously am not that guy, but I'm able to do it because I used to salsa dance, and I noticed something interesting about the Latino crowds that's very unique to Latino crowds. Like if I'm playing to, let's say, an African American crowd, and they want urban hip hop, it has to be something very specific. The new thing or the classic thing. I can't play the song that was hot last summer. I got to play the song that's hot right now to get a response. But with Latin crowds, it doesn't matter. They may have never heard the song before, but if it's a salsa with the right beat, they will dance to it.
Yeah, that's one thing I do enjoy. So one thing that gets me a little upset is I belong to record pools. So I get thousands of songs a week.
Right. Yeah, sure. And you're still playing the same old songs.
If anybody knows, how to program, you realize that you're only going to play between 80 to 120 songs a night.
If you're lucky.
I mean, that's a short list. So you got to really bring your top tunes. But yeah, I mean, I would say 80 to 85% of my playlist is over 5 years old.
Right. It's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and it's I would say it's not the same thing over and over again, but it's that older music to cater to different Latin groups, because I do nightclubs here in town as well. And you're right, there I'm mostly playing bachata, a little bit of cumbia, merengue, and salsa. When you get to the weddings, quinceañeras, you're playing more regional Mexican music, like Mexican country, ranchera.
Right.
Yeah, so it really different genres.
I get lost with that.
People don't understand how many genres there are in the Hispanic culture.
Well, people will pop up and say things to me like, I've got a party coming up. What's some Mexican music? And I'm like, that's like asking somebody, what's some British music?
Yeah, no.
It's too narrow, but term, you got to go, it's a very broad palette with this stuff. Yes. Or if someone said, hey, what can I play that's American music? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, no, it's almost impossible. So it comes down to instinct again. You got to read your crowd at these parties. I mean, you can tell just by looking, you got to profile a little bit. If people are wearing cowboy hats, I know what I'm playing.
Right.
If people are dressed in, in professional, attire, whether it's, tuxedos or, I know what I'm going to play as well. If people are in jeans and just casual, I got it. I mean, and like anybody else, when I introduce myself, when I do my intro, I ask, what do you guys, what do you guys like? And,
sure.
I always invite people to come up and talk to me, get to know me. And more than anything, you read the dance floor. I mean, if you got the dance floor packed and you try something new and, everybody's kind of scatters away, I don't come back to that too often. Like anything.
Leave that alone, yeah.
And what people have told me they like, some of my clients says, yeah, we liked it that, when you played that song and there was nobody dancing, you didn't play the whole song.
Right. Yeah, you cut it off.
We've all been to that wedding or party where there's multiple songs without anybody dancing and they just play the whole damn thing.
Right.
So
it doesn't matter.
It comes down to experience and just common sense, really.
I try to be careful with that sometimes too. Now that you mention it, I had a situation this last weekend where I played something. It was a request, but I wasn't getting a response from it. And my first instinct was, let's jump out of this and play something else. But then I started really paying close attention. Was somebody tapping their feet to this?
Yep.
Was somebody sitting in their chair?
You're right.
Bouncing around? Because if I cut it, then I'm a bad guy.
There's times where I play the Caballo Dorado song. Nobody comes up. So what do? I restart it. And I got to really, motivate these people. Sometimes they need that extra motivation. You don't know. Sometimes I do Friday weddings. They're tired. People are tired, and they need that extra pull. Just get them in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go up there and pull them on the dance floor, but I really encourage people. And and when you know it's a song that really gets them, they'll eventually get out there. So I've done that as well. But there's cases where nobody's going to dance to this.
It's over. It's over. It's not happening. I'm trying to kind of field here what we've got going on in the chat room. You guys can go ahead and throw some questions out there.
Let's talk sound systems if you want.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
All right. So I want to talk about sound systems because that's always a challenge that I have with my clients. The
interesting story that you told me was the party that you did with your brother a couple of weeks, or for your niece, a couple of weeks ago. Well, you go ahead and tell the story. You had limited space.
So this party was about an hour away from my home, and it's a family event, so I have to bring my family with.
Right.
That's 7 people.
Right. Got some people
in a minivan. So I asked Brian for his mini micro system, whatever you want to call it.
One of the micro systems, yeah.
And I got everything in the back of the minivan. That little space between the back seat. What is that, like a foot and a half? And
you've got feet. Like 25 cubic feet or something altogether.
We got it all in there. So, and it was a little interesting because they look like what are 8-inch speakers, but but they're nice RCF sub.
Yeah, they're punchy. Yeah.
And then the FBT sub.
Yeah.
So
crossed over works out real well.
Yeah, I always get a reaction when I use that system, and I've gotten the reaction of, "Is that all you brought?"
That's what your brother was like, dude. Are you sure this is cool?
My brother didn't say that. It was. I've had that happen at other events with that same system, and what I've told the clients in the past is, if you're not satisfied, we'll talk about a discount or keep your money, whatever. And of course, I know that's not going to happen.
Right.
But that's a perception that Hispanics have, is that in order to have a good quality sound system, you got to bring a array system or the 50 Sonics, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
and I know a lot of DJs that do that, and I tried educating them, and it just, I can't get through them, a lot of these guys. And a lot of it is because they see the big sound systems in their country or even here now.
Yeah.
These guys that are driving up with semis and they got full, Electro Voice concert systems.
Yeah, that's beautiful stuff if you need it.
Yeah.
If you
These guys are doing, block parties and and concerts at stadiums. But anyway, that's the image they want. So I've seen guys at a hall, the size of let's say 10,000 square feet.
That's crazy.
With 6 subs,
trussing
stage, the works.
Yeah. And it's cool though. It's cool.
And what I've been trying to do with at least my clients is, I don't even talk about sound anymore. I just tell them, this will cover 200 people, 300, 500, whatever. Because, like everybody else, I got multiple systems that can handle all those. And I don't even tell them anymore, what I'm bringing. I used to do that. Now it's like, don't worry about it.
I've got it
handled. And that's really it. I will get the occasional, is that all you brought? Is that going to be loud enough? And that's really, it comes down to education. And maybe 15 to 30 years ago, Brian, you had to bring all that stuff because of the technology wasn't there. But nowadays, oh my God, it's amazing what these little speakers can do.
Yeah.
That FBT sub, like you said, I ended up putting up a little bit because I still got that Latino in me. What did I put it up to, 6 decibels?
Yeah, it was pretty high. I was like, whoa, my mics are feeding back. What's wrong with my microphones? I looked down, he's got my sub.
It's even hard for me to get away from that once in a while, but
it's okay.
That being said, it's always been a challenge.
It's cultural. You talk about like DJ Kool Herc back in the Bronx, back in the old days, and Grandmaster Flash was a student of his. It was the Jamaican sound system. It was this big system. Yep. And I know I've gone to quinceañeras with, for Blanca's family or friends in church basements on the south side. And you go down there and it's like circus lighting in this system, and there's like a couple of grandmas down there, and their ears are bleeding.
So
it's so loud.
So if you guys out there are not aware, anything over 85 decibels, you're damaging somebody's ear, and these guys don't know that.
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to education.
Yeah.
I'm not out there with a decibel meter.
Sure.
But I can tell.
Yeah.
And if you are at a party and you're 3 feet away from each other and you're screaming, that means you're over 85 decibels.
Yeah.
That's the rule of thumb. So
sure.
3 feet away, you're supposed to be able to talk like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anything over that is not good.
Yeah. And then, I think I try to tell my clients that not my clients, but the meeting I had tonight, I don't think they're my clients. My system, it's not going to hurt. We're going to be able to talk, but you're going to be able to hear it. It's all the stuff you want to hear and that feels good, and none of the stuff that hurts. And as long as you're doing that with premium stuff and you're EQing intelligently using clean files, just a clean audio chain all the way through, you achieve that. I
remember when I used to, have the DBX racks, thinking, okay, that's going to make the system sound better.
Yeah.
But a good friend of mine, Angelo Morgan, from a store, he really helped me out. He explained to me that you actually want less equipment.
Yeah.
When it comes to audio, because you're processing all this stuff, right?
Right. You're putting a Band-Aid on a tumor.
Yeah. So that's when I started, investing in high quality equipment.
Sure. Yeah, making that audio chain clean. And yeah, if you got to add a lot of processing to your system, there's something wrong with your system. If you really got to do that to make it sound right.
Correct. And one thing is to do live music, then you need all that stuff.
Sometimes, yeah.
You have the music that's already, pre-mixed, and
it did come through, and I did catch it because a lot of them they've kind of gone by kind of fast. One question is, if someone's looking to build a really nice library of Latin music, where's a good website to start doing this? Is there a legal download site you can go and check out something?
Man, like I said, I belong to quite a few record pools, and I just get everything. But believe it or not, I get thousands of files a week. Yeah. But I really enjoy BPM Supreme.
BPM Supreme. Okay.
They have a lot. Extend the Mix. I know you have them. Yeah. They have some good Latin stuff in there. But if you're looking for constant, they're probably not the best for that. But they do have some classics in there.
Just a comprehensive library, I think, is what they're talking about.
So I would say BPM Supreme. There's a lot of Latin pools. I can also put a list of the ones I have on there.
Sure.
There's LatinMusicPool.com, Latin Remix Kings, EuropeRemix.com. There's tons of them.
Yeah.
And they're going to give you all you got. But if you're looking for a playlist,
we'll give you a list in the comments section here.
Yeah, like I said, you're going to get all the latest stuff with those pools and some classic remixes and things like that. But I still rely on Google. There's there's a lot.
They're out there. Yeah,
there's a lot of great DJs out there that have websites that I rely on. What I do, believe it or not, is I still hit the clubs. I still enjoy listening to other DJs because I learn a lot that way. Also, when I'm at the gigs, the kids, man, they supply me with all the new stuff.
They tell you what they want to hear.
Exactly.
Yeah. Somebody in the room was asking me to just Howie was asking me to kind of go into a story I've told about the dance floor hotspot. And I've explained this to clients, and they seem to like it, respond well to it. Basically, what it is, the concept is this, and this is more for a wedding. If I was doing some of these larger quinceañeras where my dance floor was 40 feet long, this is a little different. But for like a wedding reception, what I try to explain to them is the dance floor is the way I've designed that micro system. The dance floor is where things are hot. It's full, it's loud, you feel it right here.
I feel it right there.
As you go further into the room, it gets quiet. And the reason that's cool is because it gives you conversation areas. It gives you a place where you can rock out and have fun. And then as you get further into the room, grandma and Aunt Betty can.
I always call that the sweet spot.
Yeah. Yeah. The sweet spot, the hot spot, just right there on the dance floor.
Yep. I always explain that to clients when they question the system. I always make sure I put them in the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is where the majority of people are going to be dancing. This is where you want that clear sound, that bumping. sound. So
sure. Let's see, what else do we have here? What's going on? Reggie actually had a really good comment, and now I can't find out where it was. Oh, he was saying how, and this is something that I do as well. It's a really good idea. As a DJ, a great idea is to step out from behind your system and walk into the room once in a while.
Yeah,
listen to what's going on and look at your lighting. Is it complementing the dance floor? Is it bright lights in their eyes? Does the music sound okay? Walk further into the room. How does the music sound? Is it too loud? Is it not loud enough? Trying to be a sound engineer from behind a set of speakers is very difficult. So Reggie brought up a really good point. It's a really good idea to get out from behind that system and walk into the room.
Yeah.
And listen.
I think I just do that, subconsciously now. Mm-hmm. When you and I got my test songs that I always use. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But you got to have that song that's got the full range of the music frequency spectrum. So
some people use like Tony Braxton tracks. Some people use EDM tracks. A lot of vocal stuff though. A lot of female vocal stuff really kind of shows you where your system's at.
Yep.
But I want to make sure it's not too loud. I mean, because I'm not processing anymore, really, above and beyond what I have for a mixing board. I've got a 3-band EQ I'm working with. But yeah, I can adjust that too. Well, are the mids too harsh? And this, I'm big on bringing mid-range down, and that's weird. A lot of people don't do that.
I never realized how cool it sounded till you showed me.
You like it that way?
I like it.
Because that's a personal preference. That is not a rule. Yeah. That is me being weird. It's something I learned from my brother, of all people. He knows nothing about audio, but when we were kids, it always brought the mid down a little bit. I'm like, why is he doing that? But I grew to like it and enjoy it.
Yeah, with a lot of Latin songs, you got a lot on the horn section.
Yes.
So you bring that down a little bit, and it just
you can crank it more.
Correct. You crank it more, and you get that low end a little bit nicer.
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds, I don't know, it sounds
more balanced.
Correct. Yeah.
For pre-recorded music, it's more of a live feeling. I don't know. I like it, but that's just my personal preference. Let's see here. I'm gonna just take a look here and see what some of the questions are. Suggestions for a sound system.
Plaster restaurant box.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that question. That was real helpful. Let's see. Somebody mentioned ALM Fusion when you were talking about Angelo.
Oh, my buddy Angelo, yeah. That was a big guy.
Yeah. Cool Hand 68 mentioned that. Good DB meter to have. You know what? The truth is, a lot of this is now apps. You can just download apps for this stuff. You don't have to even buy anything separate. You can just get an app. And I mean, Ben Stowe from NLFX Pro, he's a geek. He's really into this. And he uses apps for this stuff. He's not having a separate DB meter. So just download an app that you're comfortable with. And that works well. So let's see, I'm just trying to take a look here.
Just piggybacking on that whole sound system, you get the same effect with lighting.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier, trussing. I mean, there's guys that bring, 50 moving heads.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't know how they do it, but I've brought, a few NOs and you get the same effect.
Yeah. Yeah. Lighting is one of those things that if there's too much, you can't focus on anything in particular.
I learned a lot. I learn a lot whenever I go, believe it or not, to Mexico, my home country. When you go to the parties there, lights are not really part of the show.
Really?
The hall can have full lighting and everybody's having a great time. Just standard fluorescent lighting.
It's on. It doesn't matter.
And it opened my eyes. I'm thinking, what the hell are we doing differently over there that, these guys are doing here? And it comes down to the entertainment. I mean, if you got good quality, whether it's a band, a DJ, and you got the people going, you don't need all that stuff. And I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm great, if you have it, and you can sell more. But I'm just saying, for the market that I'm targeting, it really isn't a big deal for me anymore. Where in the past it was.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things that I think lighting does for a dance floor. The first thing it does, it makes things, I guess, surreal. So if a person is maybe a little shy, when they go onto a dance floor, it's a little dark, it's a little again, surreal. It's not quite reality. They feel like they can go out there and be a little more anonymous and make a fool of themselves, and maybe they wouldn't normally do this under normal circumstances.
You're right.
So, you know, that's cool. I think Mexicans don't give a shit. They are ready to dance. They're confident.
It's a culture.
Right. It's a culture thing. So,
but, you know, that's what I try to do is bring some of that confidence over here. Because that's where I got the ideas from the props.
Uh-huh.
And I've actually bought stuff from over there because it's so cheap.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, like anything else, you know, we get ideas from other DJs and you know, you kind of fine tune them and make your own thing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what I do, and learn a lot from you, man.
Wow, I learn a lot from you. I don't know anything. I just regurgitate things that I hear from people smarter than me. The other thing I wanted to mention about lighting is one thing that opened my eyes about lighting. It's just kind of how I am. It's worse after my stroke, but I have a really hard time focusing on things. I'm easily distracted, like a dog and then a squirrel runs by and it's like, squirrel. I'm like that. Now, and I'm not talking bad about my mother. I'm not doing that. I love my mom. But my mom has these decorating habits that are very overstimulating, perhaps. She has like 20 clocks in her house. She collects clocks, but she has a lot of clocks. And then she also collects antique kitchen utensils. Like anytime she goes to an estate sale or whatever, it's just to show, you know, it's not to use, it's just for show. And then she hangs them on the wall, which is really cool. But then she puts floral wallpaper up. So we've got 50 utensils, bowls, shelves, pictures, floral wallpaper. I have no idea what's on her wall. Yep. All I know is there's a lot of shit on her wall. If my mother had a white wall with 5 things on it, I could tell you what all 5 of those things were.
Yep.
But because there were so many, I can't tell.
That's what I wanted to articulate earlier. So when I said, you know, I'm not going to bring 50 lights to a gig, that's really what I meant.
Right. Yeah.
I used to do that. I used to do it. I used to get a trust with, you know, the Avengers and you name it.
The whole
they were all going at once. Holy crap.
It was circus lighting, I call that.
With the fog machine.
Like Mikey Mike calls it circus. It's like you're at the Midway at the state fair.
Yeah. So now, like I said, a few windows with some nice uplighting, maybe a laser effect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can narrow it down to, you know, 3-4 fixtures, main fixtures, and some of your uplighting, which will be more lights.
Yeah.
Obviously. But yeah, it really comes down to having a nice presentation. I mean,
yeah.
And I think you even helped me out with that at one of my gigs. You said, Art, you got to turn the lasers off, you know, for now.
One at a time.
One at a time.
Focus.
So
if you only have, you know, 2 fixtures, of course you're going to run them. But if you have...
And part of it is I'm a one-man show, right? So once I set my light show, I want it to go sound active, or sometimes I'll do some controlling, but
you're more worried about DJing than lights.
Yeah, I don't have a posse that comes with me. I don't have a road crew. You know, once in a while I'll get 2 or 3 guys when I do the $500 person quinceañera.
Yeah, $500 quinceañera.
Not $500.
Yeah, 1993 maybe, right?
No, that was a $100 quinceañera. But anyway, I digress.
Southside.
Yeah, that's
still happens there.
It does. Believe it or not, people still charge $100 a gig for full blown quinceañera. I can't believe it.
On one hand, it upsets me as a professional. On the other hand, I admire it as someone who just has passion and wants to do it. I mean, that's the honest truth. I don't like it professionally at all, but I totally dig the.
I'm sure I ruined a few weddings when I was a teenager, but when I say ruin, I mean, you know, at the time they probably, you know, I cared about it as much as they did.
Yeah.
You know, if they wanted to get a 15-year-old kid to do their wedding, I guess.
They're getting divorced in 3 years anyway. Who cares?
No, I know some people that are still together from back then. But yeah, you know, that's what it comes down to. So
yeah,
experience and you know, really what you got to bring.
Well, you started doing this, you know, back in the day, like I did.
Yeah.
And
high school.
And
she had grade school.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing it for an awfully long time. And I've noticed, just to wrap the show, we'll talk about this. And I've talked about this with John. I've talked about it with several other people. The expectation of us as DJs, wow, what a difference. You were talking about it with the quinceañera.
Yeah,
it used to be whatever. Now they expect you to know this, how to facilitate that, all of this stuff. We're more than just DJs at any rate.
Yeah, we're doing everything from 2 to 3 consultations. Sometimes I'm doing the mixes for them, the surprise mixes.
Yes.
We're doing all the announcements. And I mean, you name it, we're coordinating the night. We're the MCs. It's a lot of work, and I don't think the typical person appreciates it compared to the guys here listening. But yeah.
Well, they just expect that people are supposed to be that good.
Yep.
Have you found that the clients are telling you how things should be, or are you taking the clients back a step and saying, "Hold on a minute"?
Yeah. When I first started, I would just say yes, of course. But you have to manage your clients, as you know. Yeah. When they tell me you cannot play YMCA, I have to explain to them, I understand you hate that song, but 99% of the people in your party are going to go crazy.
YMCA.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to really manage your clients. You have to, you have to push back a little bit, because if you just say, yes, you're paying me, you're the boss. No, because you're trying to get that full experience for the guests as well. And they're going to appreciate it. And believe me, anytime they give me a do not playlist, by the time we get to the party, it's trash. It's out the door. Out the door. So I don't even deal with that anymore. Right. But, the way I explain that to clients sometimes is I'll tell them, look, I'm not the boss, I'm the coach. So you're the boss. Yep. But I'm the one with the experience. I'm the one with an idea of how this could go for you. As an athlete, you're going to do what you're going to do. I can't tell you how to box. I can only suggest that you do it a certain way from experience. Yeah. No, I was just thinking something funny going back to the early days. So like anybody else, I started off with house music, with beat juggling, doing all the whole scratching thing. I mean, I still play with all that. I hoard techniques as well. Yeah. Well, somebody said that in the room. I had about 10, 1200s at one time. Yeah, you just sold a bunch. I sold a bunch. I had to get rid of some. I only have 4 now. But that's the stuff I would play at weddings. I would do house music sets. But that was acceptable back then. Yeah. That was okay. You could do that for a Latino crowd. Yeah. They were totally into it. So that's just amazing how you're right, how times have changed. But yeah, I think everybody here can relate to that. I mean, we all, want to have the, 50,000 crowd people, concert, but reality is, a little bit different. A little different. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. It was a little different. We did this last minute, brought in Art. Thank you, Art, for joining us, taking time out of your day. And you and John Young have something in common. What's that? You got a shitload of kids. So John was just, I'm looking at John right now, he's laughing. So Art's got like 1,000. John's got like 14,000. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, thank you for taking the time away from your familia and everybody to come and stay with us and talk with us. I hope you guys dug the show. If you did, let us know in the comment section on YouTube, because the Facebook thing, I don't know, I don't really monitor that. You can say whatever you want there too, but if you really want to say something nice to us, say it in the comment section of the YouTube video. Give us your thumbs up. Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you didn't like about tonight's show, and we'll try to do better next time. So I'm Brian, and this is Art. We're here for the Shocking News TV. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. What about the practice and enjoy? Okay, fine. Say it. All right, practice and enjoy.